As per before, this is encompassing everything up through episode 2 of Stranger Things season 2. Like I said in the previous one, I'll give you a recap and then some thoughts and ideas before getting back to the series. So I'm recording these before I go on, so I have all the notes and things that I want to get out there beforehand. So spoilers up to this point, but it won't go past episode 2. So I am loving how they're doing this episode. With the first season, you have them cutting between parallel stories running along the same time. Now that there's a year to play with, you're also able to find out what happened to people in that last year, namely 11. I didn't spoil this last video, but 11 is back. She's the one that Hopper is having supper with, and yeah, it starts out exploring her story after she took down the Demogorgon. It's really cool. She's in the hallway in the Upside Down trying to find a way back to the real world. There's some really, really cool imagery. Stuff, how she decides to get back to it. So she comes back to our world, kind of stumbles around, tries to figure out where to go now. Immediately goes to Mike's, and his house is swarmed by the cops, lying that this was Russian spies and such like this. So it cuts back, and 11 is in the time now, scares Hopper with a ghost outfit, saying she wants to go trick-or-treating. And then you see that Hopper is actually teaching her some things along the way, and they're being very secretive and smart about how they go advance, because they don't want anybody knowing that 11 is still alive and there. You cut from that to Ghostbusters scene. All the boys are in their outfits, and the parents are taking pictures of them before they drop them off at school. Just a great, super fun time. You have a couple of them fighting about which Ghostbuster they should be. Cuts back to a sketch that Will did the night previous when he saw this monster in the sky. Joyce and Hopper are discussing it. Hopper is trying to keep Joyce in the safe space. Telling her it doesn't mean much, but strange things are happening all around Hopper, and he knows that things are probably going to get pretty bad real quick. Then going into the Upside Down again, you have this Justice for Barb scenario where Nancy is seeing Barb everywhere, and she feels an extreme amount of guilt for her friend dying when she just wanted to have fun. You have Dustin and Lucas working on getting Max into the group of friends. While everybody's away, Eleven's watching soaps and playing along. I don't know if they're soaps, they're probably a movie. I'll probably get clarified that when we do Rubies and Movies. Then she sees a squirrel outside, and it cuts back to when she was, after she killed the Demogorgon, in the woods by herself and killing a squirrel to survive. Runs into a hunter. I don't know if she killed the hunter or just knocked him out, but took his coat, his hat and such, and then kept in the woods in the snow, winter time. So she needed that stuff to survive. There's a pumpkin conspiracy. Farmers are all around. Their whole patches are getting this fungus or killing their whole crops. Cuts to the nighttime party, and we're introduced to Billy, which is Max's brother. Before that, you saw Max and Billy cruising in the Camaro, and Billy almost hits the three boys on their bikes. And he says something about Max being the reason that they're stuck in this town now. Billy does a cake stand, becomes the new cake king. They're walking through the party, and then Steve just wants Nancy to have a good time and like forget about everything that happened in the past. But this weight of this guilt is still weighing on Nancy, so Steve just tells them that they should just be kids, have a good time. So Nancy just starts drinking and drinking heavily. Cuts back to the party where Nancy and Bob are just dancing, hanging out candy at the house, and Bob proposes the idea that maybe they should move and get away from all this strange happenings. Cuts to Max as Michael Myers attacking the Ghostbuster group. Great little scene, and then you have it cuts to, or actually it has Will getting knocked down and made fun of as a zombie kid, and then when he gets knocked down into the upside down again. So then it cuts back to Hopper in this pumpkin patch late at night, hearing strange things, and then going to pull his gun, and it almost seems like he's trigger happy now. Almost goes to pull it, sees this kid from earlier in the day, dressed up as cowboy, shoots him, bang, bang, bang. Nearly gets shot by Hopper. It's crazy. Cuts back to 11. She's watching Frankenstein, which I think is pretty awesome. I think doing this series at this moment in time is the best scenario, so they can lay in all these overlying tropes. I think 11 feels that she's very, very much Frankenstein monster, where nobody wants to give her a time and attention because they're all scared of her still. And Hopper Morris codes in that he's going to be late and he's sorry, and buys the kid candy off the kid that was shooting him as a cop. And then we are going back to the woods where 11 finds the Egos that were left for her by Hopper at the end of the last season. After that, we go back to the Upside Down, and the monster attacks Will. Rears up in the sky, sees him, comes after him. Mike snaps him back. Mike's not enthralled that there's another girl in the group and kind of gets upset. Grabs Will, takes him off, and then they go talk about what they're feeling, and Mike feels like an outsider because he kind of just wants to be with 11. He became good friends with her, and Will feels like an outsider because he's one that only experienced this and nobody else did, and they're all worried that this means bigger things, which seems like it's going to. Cuts back to the party. Jonathan runs into this girl, which I think is Pris from Blade Runner, which would be amazing. I don't think they ever are probably going to say what that is, but to me, choose Pris. You have Nancy drinking more, spilling it all over herself, goes to clean it up. Steve tries to help her and decides that maybe they should just go home, and then Nancy loses it. She kind of just lets Steve have it because of all this guilt that's weighing on her, and just flat out tells Steve that she's lying to him, that she doesn't really love him, and it's all just an act, which Steve is honestly just broke up about. So then you see Jonathan taking Nancy home, Hopper showing up late, 11 seemingly pissed off because he is late. And then you see 11 in her room with a TV, not talking to Hopper, but uses the static channel to use it like a sleep deprivation tank to go to Mike and communicate with him. And then you have Dustin making contact with something. I love this show because I know I want to cut these videos quick, but I really want to get back to the next episode because they're doing them so well. And obviously I'm doing this with the Alien Factor poster behind me. Guardians of the Galaxy just made sense. So I'm going to get back to episode 3 now. Like I said, I'm really enjoying how they are laying everything out and showing you what's been happening the last year, kind of foreboding what's going to be happening, and then showing everything unfolding to the characters that aren't seemingly caught up in it yet, but are going to get caught up in it. So that's what I got for episode 2 for you. Now, on to number 3.